Hello and welcome to the Tiny Human Knits podcast. My name is Laura and I'm coming to you from Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, where I live with my boyfriend, our dog, our cat, and our rabbit. You can find me online as Tiny Human Knits on Instagram, Ravelry, Etsy, and YouTube. I will have links for everything, all of my social medias, and everything I talk about linked down below in the description box. And yes, it is Saturday, August 13th today, which is bonkers. I can't believe we're almost halfway through August. It's fine. At least it's cool now-ish. And yeah, it's not my usual day for filming, but it was a day that was available. And if I don't do it now, I'm gonna have too much stuff the next time. So I'm doing it now, giving myself a little bit of a breather, and sort of just sitting down, hanging out with the dog. And I'm so filled with words today, so it may be a bit word vomity. I've already filmed part of this, and it's just I was tripping over my own speech. And I don't think I was being very clear, because I think I'm a little bit excited. Don't know why. It's probably the nice weather. Yeah. Our heat wave that we were having here in Fredericton broke over the weekend, last weekend, and it has been so comfortable. It's cool at night, and it's been great. And anyway, so today I am wearing my outline tee by Jessie Maed Designs, and I knit this out of a Juniper Moon Farms yarn. I cannot remember the name. I think it might have been Solstice. It's a linen blend and it's a fingering weight. I think that's all. Yes. It's very comfortable to wear. What I need to do to make it more wearable though is I need to pick up stitches around the neckline and either do an I-cord edge or just bind off immediately after picking up just to tighten up the neckline a little bit, because I find the wide, it's probably my lack of bust, but it does fall off my shoulders sometimes if it slides to one side, so I need to do that probably soon, because I've been wearing this quite a lot and then I'm just like fiddling with it, and I think just doing that simple pickup would probably make it a lot more wearable and easy to throw on, even though it is already. It's also really shown me that I really need to make an effort to knit more summer garments, because I always want to wear my knits, but it has been hot here and I'm not particularly fond of the heat and the humidity that I'm also not particularly used to, and I need to make more of these types of things. But I'm really picky when it comes to my summer knits, from what I can tell. I like thinner weight yarn, but not too loose a gauge, so it's the type of thing that'll take me just as long to knit a summer garment as it does a sweater. Which should be fine, because I have lots of sweaters. Like, I have no need for more, even though I do want to make more, and I make more for a lot of people. I'm still rambling. This is good. Anyway. So I have no finished objects for you today, but I have 2 new cast-ons, and I've been actively working on one of my projects that you saw last time. I also have a few sewing things I want to show, so that will be at the end. And I also have one sewing thing that I cannot show yet. I'm hoping I can show it next time, but it is a secret that I need to finish quickly, and then it won't be a secret. So, that's all. Anyway, my first work in progress is something I cast on before the last episode, and it hasn't got a lot of work done because it's on 3mm needles and it's fingering weight yarn. And I've also got 2 other projects on 3mm needles on sport weight, so I haven't had a ton of time to work on it. But I've got a little bit of progress on my Friday tee by PetiteKnit, and that is this right here. This is a complete rip-off of the one I made last year for my nephew Axton. Same colors and everything. I'm actually using the leftovers from that one. I may run out, but I'll just dye more mini skeins if I need to. It is a top-down raglan, and it's got the 13-stitch raglan shaping things? Raglan, what would you call that? Detail. Let's call it a detail. The raglan detail here is 13 stitches. It is all in 1 by 1 broken ribs, so you knit 1 row, and then the next row is knit 1, purl 1. And I think I mentioned last time, by the time I get to the sleeve separation, there'll be over 400 stitches on this. So exciting times, exciting times. And what I actually really like about this, comparative to the baby one, which obviously doesn't have the same need for short row shaping because it's a baby, they're kind of just round. And also, unfortunately, Accident is growing out of his, so oh well. The back has two different colors, which, okay, I should preface, the original pattern is only in two colors. I'm choosing to knit it in a 10 different color mini skein set. So I really like this distinction. It's got the 2 rows and the short row shaping. You actually cast on fewer stitches for the back, and then when you do short row shaping, you increase so it matches the front, which I think looks fantastic. I love that detail. And I just love that there's 2 stripes on the back that you can't actually see from the front because of the short row shaping. And yeah, so it's my own hand-dyed yarn. The main color is Pale Mushroom, which is like one of my favorite colors to use as a base. And then I'm using a mini skein set that I dyed last year called Holly Jolly, which I have dyed again, and it will be in the shop next month. I don't know the exact date of when that shop update will be because there is kind of a lot of stuff happening in September, and I don't want to put that much pressure on myself to finish a bunch of stuff, so I'm just going to be announcing it when I'm mostly finished. But yeah, so that mini skein set and the base yarn will be available in September. But yeah, I really like it. It's just, it's already a lot of stitches because fingering weight, 3mm. It's fantastic. Love it. Having a great time. But yeah, that'll probably not be done quickly, to be perfectly honest, because I've got a bunch of other stuff that I want to finish first and some things I want to cast on. Which I've noticed the last few episodes, I keep saying what I want to cast on next. I don't know if you guys like that, because a lot of times I don't cast it on and I just say it the next time, like a different sweater entirely. Because all of my yarn, pretty much, that I have has projects attached to them, and I want to knit them, and there are some that I've wanted to knit for years, it's just never the one that gets chosen. So if you enjoy hearing about my potential plans, please let me know, because I'm going to keep doing it, probably. Anyway. So, I have 2 new cast-ons that are not technically, they are the same. They're the same pattern. They are for a set of twins that was born last month from my cousin, and she's now got 4 girls, which is awesome because my own family isn't particularly good at having nieces. So, very excitingly, I am knitting a sweater for all of her girls. So her eldest will be 4 in December, and then she's got a 2-year-old and newborn twins. So I have the one for the 2-year-old already done. This is the one right here. This is the, why do I want to say Fiola? Is it Fiola? If that's wrong, I'll put the name here. It was a Norwegian pattern that I put through Google Translate. So this is the one, I actually knit this quite early in the year. This is knit out of my Gilly colorway. It's 2 strands held together. And what I want to do, so this one is for the 2-year-old. I thought it was going to be for the 4-year-old, but I immediately thought it was too small. And yesterday, we went to the Bay of Fundy, which is like right by the ocean, with friends of my husband, no, my boyfriend, and he has a 4-year-old, so I kind of just like awkwardly held it against her, and she's quite small, so I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to be big enough. So I'll be knitting a bigger one in, might as well just say this now, I'll be knitting one for the girl who will be 4 in these 2 colorways held together. So it'll be this one, and this will be for the older girls. And it'll be really nice to do this design again because I really enjoyed knitting this. And then the twin girls are getting kind of the same deal. One is in this colorway and one's in that. And that is going to be the Ray's Baby Sweater by Nash Knits. I'll put a picture up here because I have the pattern printed out, but it has one picture and I only have a black and white printer, so it doesn't look good at all. So I'm knitting this sweater, 2 of them at the moment. I'm knitting them concurrently because I didn't want to finish one and then really not want to do the other one. So first, I started off with the sleeves. So I knit 4 individual sleeves for the set, and that way also, like, I knew exactly where to start the increases, how many rows, because technically I'm doing this backwards because the pattern is written where you knit the body bottom up, and then when it comes to the sleeve portion you do a provisional cast on, and then later when the sweater's done you knit down. I didn't want to do that because it seemed, I don't know, faff, I don't know. Anyway, so I knit the sleeves first. Knit these 2 sleeves, and then I knit the other 2 sleeves, and then I cast on the body for both of them. And I knit those up. So the pink one is to the point where I am ready to add the sleeves to the body. I need to set aside stitches on either sleeve and the body on 2 different sections, obviously, and then attach them, and then do some short row shaping, and then you cast on the frill separately, get to a certain point, and then you attach them all onto the same needle, knitting 2 stitches together of either color. So that one's ready for that, and the more neutral colored one is actually ready for the frill. I did this morning, so I attached the sleeves in the round, and both sides have the stitches set aside. I'm just going to do a Kitchener stitch for those after the fact, and then I can use the ends to weave in any sort of loose bits on either side. So I did the short row shaping on this, and I knit a little bit to the length that it needed, and now I need to cast on for the frill, which both of them are going to be in just a white color. I think this is undyed. And this yarn company, I've had this yarn in my stash for a very long time, which is kind of what I'm trying to use baby knits for, because like everyone I know has little ones, and I had a bad habit of buying, like, you know, 3 skeins of DK, which you could probably get yourself a t-shirt out of, but you're kind of pushing it as a full-grown adult. So I'm trying to use my random weird bits of yarn to knit baby sweaters. And I'm actually getting to the point where I'm going to be knitting, like, what I really want to do is knit a bunch of Jessica McDonald patterns, because her baby sweaters, like, I love knitting for kids, but I don't like knitting just like plain, no offense if you love knitting these things, because like babies be wrecking stuff, it's just how it is, but I like knitting kind of more complicated baby garments. And Jessica, wow, I'm having a hard time saying that, Jessica McDonald has a really good style aesthetic that I want to start knitting, like 6 to 7-year-old sweaters, and then I can save them for when the kids are a little bit older. Ah, oh, this is faffy. Anyway, this color is going to be used as the lacy frill. So it's just what I have to do now. I'm kind of thinking that I might get the pink one up till this point as well, so I can just deal with the frill for both of them. But I'm not sure yet. I think I might do that, because attaching, if anyone's knit a bottom-up sweater where you attach the sleeves after the fact, it is a pain in the ass. It's really tight. I usually use a longer cable and then kind of do a magic loop situation to get it in the round without wanting to chop the yarn into little pieces. So yeah, I'm holding those in separate project bags. I never really show my project bags. This is one I'm holding one in. This is a very good baby sweater project bag. This was in my shop last update. And then the other one, I have this in this handmade life bag, which is small and beautiful. Because yeah, I just have a bunch of stuff. And I'm really hoping to have these done soon, because they're kind of slow. I finished knitting one of the sleeves on this, I think the pink one. Actually, I'm not even sure. We went to a wedding reception last weekend, which was like the most extravagant, like, movie style wedding I've ever been to in my life. There was fireworks and an open bar, and there was a bunch of beautiful people everywhere, and it was very strange for me because I'm used to like really low-key weddings. And yeah, that sort of shows future plans as well. And this one will be faster because I know this one went quite quick because of the design on it. It makes you keep going, and it's, you know, significantly larger gauge than what I have. Because those baby sweaters, the gauge, I can't remember if I already said this, I'll edit this out if I did, but the baby sweater gauge is 28 stitches to 40 rows. Which is small. Anyways, I've got a couple more socks, or some of the same socks really, samples that I'm knitting. I have a lot of sock needles. Oh, also, I did finish one of my Jolene socks. I'm so excited by them. And I'm trying to stay excited by them because I have the worst character trait of anytime I see somebody else's self-striping, I get really, like, critical of my own, which is so stupid. Because there's enough to go around. There's absolutely enough to go around. And also, my color sense is different than other people's. Like, you're always gonna find your niche. It's so silly. Anyway, I need to knit the second one of that so I have a full pair, and then a new one that I cast on is this one right here. Haven't got too far on that. I named this, but I wrote it down and then immediately forgot it. Anyway, I've got a lot more sock samples to knit, but I don't have to knit them anymore because sock machine. I ordered myself back in April a Dane & Bean sock knitting machine, which is a company out of the States. I want to say Iowa, Cedar Falls. Sorry if that's not right. Could be Indiana, I don't know. But I ordered one of those in April. It is a 3D printed sock knitting machine, so just a cranking sock machine. And I got a notification this week that it was in the mail, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get it by next week. I'm so excited. It is going to save me hours of time because I hand knit to all of my own colorway samples, and I always knit samples before I completely commit to a colorway because you never know exactly how a colorway is going to turn out. By the way, if you are unaware and you are new to this podcast, I dye self-striping yarn. So anyway, I never know how it's going to turn out entirely until I knit a sample, and a lot of the times I'll knit a sample up to the point where I have all the colors that are in the colorway showing so I can see how it looks. And the amount of socks that are like that long that have been in my office after I pulled it off the needles because it wasn't what I wanted is a bit ridiculous. So the addition of a sock knitting machine is going to mean that I can dye up a colorway, dry it, cake it, all that stuff, and then just crank it on a machine and I'll be able to see within minutes if it's good. I'm so excited. And then I don't actually have to finish these socks. They can just be tubes as samples for sock colorways. And if I really like a colorway, obviously I will knit myself a pair of socks in that colorway, but I don't have to, which is very exciting. Anyway, that's something else I'm working on. And that's kind of it for knitting. I'm really, really hoping to get a good chunk of my stuff finished so I can move on to other things, because there are some sweaters that I want to cast on so bad, including the Ingrid sweater by PetiteKnit, because I saw Popsicle Frog, that's what it is, Popsicle Frog, which is a new podcast, and she is delightful. They just finished one, and it looks fantastic, and I have yarn that would be almost identical, and I think it's going to look so pretty. I want to do that. And then also I think it's Piet by JP Knits Things, which is a stunningly stripy, oversized, cropped, beautiful sweater that I have already dyed the yarn for. Picture here. I'm so excited to knit that. But I have to finish the baby things before I'm allowed to knit that. I've told myself. But while I'm on the whole topic of those babies, I'm also making them a quilt. I made a quilt for my cousin and her two eldest 2 years ago, year and a half. and it was super pretty. I really liked it. I don't know if I have a picture of it because I'm terrible at taking pictures of my quilts, but if I do, I'll insert a picture here. So now that she has 2 more, you can't fit that many kids under one quilt. So I'm making another one. And the pattern I am using for that is the Cozy Cabin quilt pattern by Modernly Morgan. This is a black and white photo, but you'll get the idea. It's this one right here. And I got a fat quarter set from, I think Fat Quarter Shop, actually. Because I was buying some other stuff for different things entirely. And this quilt, like this fabric set, was so cute. I knew I would use it for something. So I only have a small sample of this, and I probably honestly will be done by next time, I'm hoping. I'm planning on getting a lot of things done by next time. But this is like a little taster of what the fabric looks like. And it is this right here. I might actually insert some video of some more of the blocks too, because there are some ducklings on this fabric that are to die for. And it's gonna be so nice. I love low contrast for little ones. I've also actually, I got another fat quarter set from the same order, and I've cut out another one of these for myself. Also, my mother-in-law told me that she was sending me some of the quilted quilts that I gave to her last year. The ones that she quilted, because she has a long arm quilting company, so she quilts all my quilts for me if I don't do it myself, which I'm not particularly fond of. My sewing machine is small, and it also needs to be serviced soon. But she has finished quilting 2 of my quilts from last year, and she's going to be sending them to me soon, I hope. Anyway, I'm hoping to have that done. Honestly, there's not actually that much work that has to be done in this. It's just a block assembly at this point, which doesn't really even take that long. It's just a matter of me sitting in front of my machine and doing it. But the thing is, I'm going to have to quilt this myself, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it. Because quilting on your own home machine is, again, it's a pain. And mine is a very basic Janome. It's like kind of the lowest end you can get, which, to be fair, is... I had a brother, like a basic brother sewing machine, which worked great for what I needed it for, which is learning how to sew. But my Janome, because of its, like, the way it's built, it's mostly metal parts, and it's more powerful. I love the thing so much. So much. So I would recommend, and as I say all the time, if any one of you wants to learn how to quilt, please do. If you have any questions, contact me on Instagram, on Ravelry, whatever. I will be happy to assist you in any way that I personally can. Because it's so much fun. So much fun. And another thing that I've been working on for sewing is this dress right here. It's kind of in an awkward place. I was making myself this is the Darling Ranges dress, which I have made before, and I really, really like it. It's got pockets. As you can see here, maybe. It's got pockets. I have to hem it, sew on the sleeves, and then make buttonholes is the only thing I have to do. This pattern is delightful. It is so easy to do. It was the first sewn garment that I ever made, besides the Ogden cami, which is also very easy to do. I'm planning on making a couple more of those. But the most fun thing is I have a bunch of sew-in labels from Katie and the Machine, which are like... Some of them are subversive and some of them are just delightful, but I got... I put this one in particularly because to put it in, I actually had to seam rip a whole like side of the top stitching because I had done something improperly, so I had to open it up anyway, so I just added that one. Anyway, I was making myself this to wear to the reception, and hilariously it took until I had sewn in one sleeve, improperly I might add, before I realized that this dress was absolutely the wrong color to wear to a wedding, so I wore something else. But yeah, I want to get this done soon, because it's like, it really won't take long, maybe an hour, hour and a half with sewing on buttons and such. That's just gonna go on the floor. Because I was making a different dress entirely. I was making myself the Myosotis dress, which I have made before as well, and I just thought maybe a different fabric would do the trick. No, it just doesn't suit me. My shape does not lend itself well to that particular boxy shape. That's the way she goes. But yeah, I have one acquisition that I'm going to show you. I have gotten different yarn from an order. I think I ordered from Needles. Nope, Needles on the Stack? Doesn't matter. I ordered yarn for a project that I want to start in the fall, and I will talk more about that when I actually start it and I can realize that, I can actually do it. But yesterday we went, like I said, we went to Bay of Fundy, and we were driving through Sussex in New Brunswick, and I'd never been there before. My boyfriend had, and he said there was a yarn shop right around, like on the road that we were on, and asked if I wanted to stop, and I said, yes, absolutely. So it's called Legacy Lane is the yarn. What was it? It was... Now I can't remember. I'll put the name of the shop here. It was a yarn and gift shop, and it was absolutely beautiful. And all of the yarn that they sold in the shop, they had yarn and like knitted woven goods, are locally spun, like right there in Sussex, which is fantastic. And I tried very hard not to buy too much. So I actually only got 2 skeins, and I definitely want to go there again because most of the yarn is an alpaca blend. This particular one that I got is a not alpaca, now that I'm looking at it. Pretty much all of the store was alpaca except apparently what I bought. But this is a merino tencel, a 65-35 merino tencel. It is a DK 3-ply. It was on sale as well, and I got it in this blue color. I think it's literally just called blue. And I got this because A, it was on sale, and B, I just think this would make a really cute, and I might even be able to make 2 of them, a summer top for a small human. Just kind of what I'm leaning towards. With the tencel content, I think that would be really, really lovely. And yeah, the woman who was working there was absolutely delightful, so kind and helpful, and it was such a good environment. And I really, really liked it. And we're actually going back to Sussex next week for the flea market. So I'm not going to tell myself I'm going to knit this before that, but I might pop in again, who knows. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything to announce. The shop update will be in September again. I'm not entirely sure when, but I will announce that closer to the time. And yeah, hopefully soon I can knit something that isn't for a baby. That would be nice. Then I gotta start on Christmas stuff because stuff. Although I am a little bit ahead of that, so shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I just need to finish my pile of whips before I can clear my brain and work hard on the update and start some new stuff. But hopefully I can have some of these done and show you next time. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and wonderful next week. And I really hope wherever you are cools down a bit so you can wear your sweaters. And I will see you next time. Bye!